problem solving in development is something that isn't easily attained because it's a skill that has to be developed over time. I know that when I was starting out in development, then I had a lot of problems that I couldn't figure out on my own. It felt almost overwhelming when I got a project or an issue and I just couldn't figure it out. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about how I improved my problem solving skills and how I'm now more confident in being able to take on large projects or figuring out just bugs and issues or how to create features without having to worry about how I'll go about it, because I really sort of have a plan in mind. Now, when I was starting out in development, I did have issues when I was trying to do a project. I was just starting out and I didn't really know all my languages or frameworks, and like many of us do, I would ask myself, what is the best language to create this project, or which library should I use to achieve these features? And these questions always bugged me and I got stuck on these. I would research it and I felt like I was going down a black hole without an actual answer. And these sort of problems and not being able to solve them really stopped me from growing as a developer, because I felt like I was always searching for that solution and I just wanted someone to help me out. I would try to go on Google and see if other people had asked that same question, see if their solutions could help me out, and I would try and do tutorials and see if maybe some of those examples worked in line with the problem I was having or the thing I was trying to build out. And usually, while sometimes they did, and I could just copy paste some of that solution in, it didn't really help me grow in my problem solving capabilities. Now, what I started to do to really grow my problem solving was being able to break down bigger items into small items. This is the core of problem solving, whether it's making a website or finding a bug or creating a feature. Being able to break down a large item into smaller components means that the stress, that anxiety of having something that's completely overwhelming and too large to be able to do gets compartmentalized. It gets smaller and itemized, where you can actually chunk it into small little components that you can do one by one. When you take a problem that's large, like say building out a website, it might seem like a week or two or maybe even a month worth of work, and sometimes you don't know where to start. But with a website, like for example, you could just have a look at doing the homepage to start off with, and that maybe will be a little bit easier than doing out the whole e-commerce and everything. And then you can break down that homepage into maybe the header section and the footer section and the body section, and that seems a little bit easier as well. And then being able to break down the header section to just the navigation, and then maybe just a single line item on that navigation. As you keep breaking problems down, or even features or websites, they get easier and easier to manage. And then all you have to worry about is building out that one item. So you might just start out building out the menu for a website, and then you might work on the header and then the footer, and bit by bit you build the website out. So what seemed like a really big project can be itemized a lot easier. This is the same problems and problem solving in general. When you get an issue or a bug that appears, and you might think to yourself, how can I figure out what this is? Such as maybe the website's contact form isn't working. Well, first you can just check off a couple of the things. Is the contact form JavaScript fine? Are there any errors? If there is, are there any errors to a certain function? And if there is, are there any errors in any single line of code? And if there is it a single variable that's causing that error? You can granularize issues and problems like this as well to be able to break them down a little bit easier and figure them out. If you're, for example, making a game or something like that, and you need a movement engine, and you want to figure out how you can get your character to work and move in that game, you don't have to worry about the whole engine. You just need to worry about the movement in general. Can you make them go up? And do you make them go up by 1 pixel or 2 pixels? As you make problems smaller, it's easier to be able to solve them, and this is the core of problem solving. That way, even in mathematics, if you're trying to solve a algebra question or some large formula, you don't think about solving the whole thing in one go. You move each variable across one by one until you solve the proof that you need to. And in programming and development, creating solutions like this takes the same sort of approach. I would even say that when you're trying to do GitHub changes and pull requests, you should really try to itemize them to really simple changes that people can track. So that way you can test against them. You can really do those pull requests and reviews much easier. The whole methodology of making things simple and granularized is a great way to be able to be a better developer. Anyway, these are my thoughts on how to do problem solving, how to granularize and itemize stuff and break it down into smaller components to make it easier for yourself. And by doing so, you will become a better developer. Now, I'm doing more content around design and development and talks like this. So if there are topics you guys want me to cover and things you're interested in, let me know. Otherwise, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.